Hi, my name is Andre and welcome to 10,000 Pictures. I know, I'm sorry, I haven't been here lately. A lot of things happened since the last post and I've been trying to catch up. Hopefully, I'll be able to be more active from now on. Today we'll continue to talk about photography history and its characters. I decided that for every important period in history, I would take some time to dig a little deeper on an important photographer that best represents that slice in time. Our first character is David Octavius Hill from Scotland. He, alongside Robert Adamson, are responsible for the most important portraits of the 19th century. He was born in 1802, and from youth, he was trained as a painter and learned how to print through lithography at the University of Perth. His first contact with photography happened in 1843. At the time, Hill was hired to paint the portrait of the 450 founders of the Free Church of Scotland. The task seemed impossible until Hill's friend, David Brewster, suggested that he use a new invention called a calotype. Hill didn't know anything about this new technology and had serious reservations about the idea. Brewster then introduced him to Robert Adamson, which was an enthusiast of the calotype. After the first test with the chemical process, Hill was totally sold on the idea that they start working together. The partnership was very successful. Hill was a lifelong artist and his role was more of an art director, posing the characters and creating the concept of the images. He was also very well connected and were able to prospect important customers to their business. Adamson, 20 years younger, was a technician. He was very familiar with the chemical and optical procedures developed by Fox Talbot. Together, they formed one of the first photography studios in history. In 4.5 years, the team produced over 3,000 images, which at the time was an absurd number. The partnership was cut short by illness that claimed Adamson's life in 1848. Hill continued to work for some months until he abandoned the studio, but kept selling prints and used them to compose his paintings. In 1862, he married the sculptor Amelia Robertson Patton and slowly started to produce photographs again. The death of his daughter in 1866 forced him to abandon the craft once more. Not long after that, in 1870, Hill would also die. He was buried at the Dean Cemetery, one of the finest Victorian cemeteries in Scotland. The artist is portrayed by a bust sculpted by his widow, Amelia. Hill and Adamson's invaluable importance to photography was not only due to the vast number of prints they produced. Their subjects would vary from landscapes, architectures, and portraits. They were innovators capturing action on their images and were responsible for the first documental photography in history when they portrayed the fishermen's wives in New Haven, Scotland. They were also pioneers in thinking about photography as an art form, and that becomes clear by the extreme care about composition and lighting on his subjects. Learning about Hill and Adamson is important to understand the technological and artistic steps that photography would take from this period forward. They set the aesthetic standard on how a photographic image should look like. That standard will first be celebrated and then destroyed by a new crop of photographers that thought that photography should look less than a mirror to reality and more as a painting. We'll go through all this process in the next post, so stay tuned. For now, if you enjoyed to learn a bit about David Octavius Hill and Robert Adamson, please share this post, like the Facebook page, and be part of the conversation. See you next time on 10,000 Pictures.